like I said, I don't know what it was. It just one day, just all of a sudden I could just see light in a different way. And like driving home, I'd see it like fall on a mountain. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. Like all of a sudden it's casting across this. I'm like, things were just, I was in a whole new world at that point, like seeing things totally at a different point of view.
Welcome back to another Tuesday Missoula podcast. Brandon, how are you, man?
I'm good. Episode 91.
91.
We are 9 away.
9 away from episode 100. Can you remind
triple digits
the audience what we're doing for the 100th episode?
Well, I have no clue. What are we doing?
All right, I'll remind the audience. On our 100th episode, we're going to do it a little different. We're asking you, the audience that has been so great at supporting us, to send us some questions, anything that you're wondering.
You're right. That's what we're doing. Q&A.
Q&A.
A whole new episode.
Yes.
New guests, new vision, moving forward in triple digits. We want to hear from you, Missoula. What questions do you have for Steven and I? What do you want to see on the podcast moving forward? What guests in our community you want on? We want to hear from you. Shoot us a text, 406-888-MSLA, or email mso@themissoulapodcast.com. It's going to be a fun episode, and I'm excited. You excited?
I'm ready for it.
I'm excited for today.
Yeah. Corey Dostal. Hi. Am I saying that correctly?
Yep. You said it right.
Yes.
Not too many people get it right.
Welcome to the show. Corey, what brought you to Missoula?
My mom and dad, they brought me here. My family moved here in 2002. So started high school, didn't even start high school. We came from California. I'm one of those people.
Oh.
So I'm one of the ones that most people hate.
Where in California were you?
I'm not buying up all the land either. So Pismo Beach, California. So just south of Cal Poly.
Okay.
So I know Cal Poly very well from that area. So
how did you feel in 2002 when mom and dad said, we're leaving California and going to Montana? What was it?
I hated them.
Yeah, I bet.
How old were you?
All the friends and everything. Yeah, I hated it. I was 13.
Okay.
So I was becoming a freshman in high school at that point.
Yeah.
So
what was the draw to Missoula? What brought your parents here?
So my parents wanted to move away to slow things down. So my dad is a carpenter. He's been in the construction field. He's a builder, still in that field. And he just wanted to slow things down and be able to spend more time with family. So I don't know why, but they thought Montana. We took a trip over to Montana, and we went to Billings and worked our way from Billings all the way to Missoula. My dad dropped applications in a couple different jobs and landed one in Missoula. So we ended up moving to Missoula.
When you got here in a pivotal stage in like your development, 13 years old, what were those first couple of months like for you trying to figure out how things worked here in Montana?
I had been in the mountains and snow and stuff like that. So none of that was new to me.
You just couldn't find the beach.
I was walking distance from the beach before, so there was no beach. Like some people around here didn't even know what a beach was. Like, so I was the Cali boy is what all the high school kids started calling me. Like, hey, Cali boy, come over here, blah, blah, blah. So, but I found some friends real quick in my neighborhood and just kind of clicked with them and started kind of just rolling with the punches.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Hellgate.
Okay.
Where'd you go to middle school?
California.
Okay.
Is where I went to middle school.
Oh, you said that you moved your freshman year.
Yep.
What do we need to know about your childhood that would help us understand kind of who you are today? What were some of the aspects of your childhood that helped form you?
I mean, there's a lot, I would say. Like, it's funny. I was just before walking in here, like, kind of posted something up, shared something on social media, and just growing up, seeing my dad like hustle and like work his butt off. Like, he worked 2-3 jobs, basically like side jobs to get things done, to take care of the family. There's 5 kids in my family. I'm the oldest of them. So just seeing that hard work has kind of rolled over to me. Probably not when I was a kid, Like, but now that I have my own family and all that kind of stuff, that drive is in me. So I push real hard at times when it comes to that type of stuff. But, I picked up in junior high, picked up a camera, started playing with the camera, kind of played with that, just doing macro kind of stuff. And just photography, and just kind of fell into photography. And I think that's one thing that helped me when my family moved to Montana.
Corey, what was it about photography that was so captivating to you, that just captured you? Because it's rare that you hear a 13-year-old boy just become obsessed with the camera.
My first camera was, I don't even remember the brand, but all I remember is I had a file system of floppy disks, because it was a digital camera that took a floppy disk in the side. So I put that floppy disk in, and I just started in California right before we moved here. And I don't know what it was. My parents got it to take pictures of the family and just document the family, birthdays and such. And I just kind of started playing with it, and never had anything that pushed me really to photography. Just grabbed it and started taking pictures of flowers and little things like that. So the macros genre.
So growing up, what for you kind of was the dream? When Corey grows up, what did you want to become? What did you want to do?
The only thing I can remember is like when I was in elementary school and stuff, like I was into baseball. So like that's where it was. Like I want to play baseball. And I never really had anything else. Like even in high school, like I didn't have anything that I really honed in on and was like, this is what I wanted. Well, until my senior year, but I never had any typical job that I wanted to do growing up.
What happened in your senior year?
So photography just kind of continued through school. My senior year was choose your senior project. So I said, okay, I'll do photography. And they were like, nope, you can't do that. You're too comfortable in it. We need something that you're not comfortable in. I was like, fine, I'll photograph people. So had never photographed people before. I was not really like outgoing. I came a little bit more outgoing my senior year. But my friends hated me for my senior project. I had 4 girls. They were my models all year, took pictures of them all year. There was a lady in town here, and she did photography for models. She was my mentor, kind of taught me the process of photographing people. So that's kind of where things shifted. At that point, I was like, I want to do this for a living. I want to photograph. I want to do portraits, senior photos and stuff like that. So that's what I started chasing after my senior year.
A lot of our listeners obviously don't know the challenges of photography because everybody has an iPhone and, you think you can do it. But what are some of the challenges in doing portraits that maybe most people wouldn't understand?
The things that my mind immediately jumps to now, like being in it for so long, is like, composition is one of the first and most important things. How do you compose a shot? How do they sit in that frame of the photo? Rule of thirds and stuff like that. I never really woke up to like lighting falling on things until probably like 2014, 2016, somewhere in there. And it was, I don't remember what it was. It was just like one day I kind of like woke up and it was just like, I just realized how light was falling, how soft it was and all of this. So a lot of people aren't catching how the light's falling on.
I was just going to ask you if that was self-taught, if you were mentored, coached, went to school, or just woke up one morning and saw things differently.
The lighting, I think it was just starting to dig deeper into photography and just trying to get better and just scale up my skills, and just self-teaching myself through YouTube University and all that other stuff. So whatever I could get my hands on, books and so on, just trying to read and educate myself as much as I could. And like I said, I don't know what it was. It just one day, just all of a sudden I could just see light in a different way. And like driving home, I'd see it like fall on a mountain. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. Like all of a sudden it's casting across this. I'm like, things were just, I was in a whole new world at that point, like seeing things totally at a different point of view.
Corey, I can see our director and our marketing guy just squirming here. How do you feel about the lights in our studio? Like we're all insecure right now. Critique us. What's wrong? What would you do different?
You know, there's not much going on. It's where the camera's facing. You know, in this situation, it's more on me than on you. Like, so
you know those conversations where you're like, you sit down with somebody and you find out like they're an expert in like body language, and then you're just awkward. You don't know like how to sit with your tongue. That's how I feel right now. Like, we're talking to a lighting expert. And I'm so insecure. So
no, it's great. It's soft light. It's all coming out. Awesome. You got your diffusers and everything. So you're running good.
Great job, guys.
You can stop sweating.
Maybe you can give us a free consultation after this on what we need to do. Corey, let's jump into our rapid fire questions, and then we'll get back to more of your journey. So number one question, what was your first initial memory of Missoula, Montana?
First initial memory. I mean, really, as I kind of try to run through and think of things, is the first house we lived in here. Like, that's the thing that I first think of and first see in my mind, is just that house. Like, I do what my dad does when I was growing up, but drive by, I'm like, that house right there, we lived in that house. Like, that's where I started. I did X, Y, blah, blah, blah. So
what street was your first house on?
5th Street, north side of town.
What's your favorite coffee shop here in Missoula?
Favorite coffee shop? You know, I'm not great with the names. I'm not much of a coffee person, but if I'm going to swing by or something, it's the place over by Cabela's. I can't remember the name
City
of it.
Brew.
City Brew. That's it. So
how about restaurant?
I go there and grab that.
You have a favorite restaurant in Missoula?
Favorite restaurant? First thing in mind is Montana Club. I like Montana Club.
What do you think is the weirdest thing about Missoula?
The weirdest thing. Boy, to me, it's weird to me, and it kind of makes sense though, but like where I came from in California, San Luis Obispo, it's a college town. Like, I go back there and visit family, and I get to see like, wait a minute, that's Missoula. Like, Missoula is San Luis Obispo. Like, it's so close to each other, but it's like 10 years behind. So like, I go there, I'm there hanging out, come back here, like, okay, this is just so weird. The flow of it and downtown and all that kind of stuff. I get that same vibe through those two towns.
Corey, what do you love the most about Missoula?
I love that I'm a big outdoors person. So just being able to, the saying is like walking out my back door 5 minutes and I'm in the mountains, hunting, fishing, hiking, whatever it is. Like, I can just get out and get away from the city really fast.
What zip code do you live in?
I live in Lolo, so 59847.
Has there been a particular book that has made an impact on your life more than any other?
When it comes to books, I've never been much of a reader. Like, I don't read too much. The only thing that sticks with me of a book that I remember reading, and two things stuck out in it, was just very controversial, Donald Trump. Like, it was a book when I was a senior that I read of his, a sales book, running a business, and reading that. And there's just two things that stuck out in that book. And that's the only thing that I can think of.
What were those two things? Do you remember?
I don't know what the book was called. I do not remember the name of the book.
Was it The Art of the Deal?
I don't know. I cannot remember any title of the book. I just remember the two things in it that he talked about, which one of them is like, for him, is running a business in this book. Like, if somebody messes with you, you take them out. You go for their neck and you just take them out.
That sounds about right.
And that's one thing that just sticks with me. I don't run my business that way, but I don't know why it just came off and just stuck with me. And the other thing in that book was hire people that are better than you, that know what you're doing. So hire the best of the best. So if, admin duties when it comes to my business, I hired somebody to handle that so I can focus on what I need. I hired somebody to do sales so they could focus on outreach and such. I hired editors so they could hire that. So that way I'm just pushing it into a place to where all I'm doing is just clicking a shutter on the camera. That's all I'm doing. So finding the best of the best for each category. I have multiple editors that do, I don't just have one photo editor. I have an editor that does virtual twilights. I have an editor that does standard real estate photography. I have one that does lifestyle and Airbnb short-term rental stuff. So I've found what I feel is the best of best in each category. So that way I don't have one person who's mediocre at this, but great at this. I want everything to be top notch. So I find the best of the best in everything.
Corey, a couple questions there. One, why did you not go into construction? Why did you follow your dad? Go into the family business.
I didn't go into
that just seems like a natural progression.
Yeah. My dad won. And what I mean by that is, like, he took me to every job site that he ever could. And when he would come home, he would show me every single injury he had. He was stopping it right there. He's like, this isn't going any farther. The lineage is all carpenters. My grandfather, him, all my dad's brothers, have been in the construction field or are still in the construction field, the building industry.
Okay. So I'd imagine your parents were then applauding the direction you chose rather than, oh, Corey, he should be swinging a hammer, but he's always got that camera. It's more of a positive.
Yeah. My dad was, you are not doing this.
Okay.
So it was, come home, see this. This was a nail in the hand. I shot a nail gun here, went in the wall, came out the other side and ricocheted through the wall. And came through this.
What kind of injuries do you sustain behind the shutter?
For me, I'm on my feet walking a lot. So last year was the first time I got plantar fasciitis. That was not fun. And running my own business, being the only one doing the content creation at that point, that hustle mentality in me, I was out there walking with a tack in my foot every single day, tackling what I needed to do to still get it done, to still support my family.
So Corey, walk us through what your business does, how you got into this, and what this process of building this company has been like. Too many questions there, but you get
there. So it started in senior portraits and all that. So that was my dabble into making money. So I shot a couple weddings, shot a couple of those things, trying to make a business out of that, and just never got anywhere to be able to go full time. And back in 2019, I saw a family friend who was actually started running a real estate media company, doing real estate photography. And seeing him on his social media, he'd post up, and I just started doing the math. I'm real business oriented. That's how I'm a creative, but I love business. So I saw him doing all this work, and I was like, wait a minute. He shot 3 today, he shot 2 yesterday, and 5 the next day. Let's just say he's doing that $175 a pop. What is that? And I start doing the math. I'm like, wow, this is adding up. So I'm like, I'm going to give this a shot. So I reached out to a friend, and she was a realtor. She had a house that was under contract, vacant, everything. She let me come in and photograph that unit as just a test. And I loved it. I did YouTube University for 2 weeks straight before that. How do I do this? What do I do? Teaching myself everything I needed to know as much as I could. And went in, shot it. She liked what I did. So I started shooting some properties. I'd shoot maybe 2 a year for her. She's more of a buyer's agent. And then the following year, 2020, COVID kicks in and I'm working from home. I'm working for Verizon at this point. And by the end of 2020, I'm working from home and I just start getting an influx of communications, emails, text messages, phone calls. Hey, can you shoot this property? Can you do this? I was too stupid at that point to ask, how'd you find me? To source this. But the thing that I did see was the influx. So I immediately jumped onto Instagram, Facebook, and all those platforms. And I just started liking as many realtors as I could, following their content, getting in front of them and just staying in front of them. I was all about top of mind. So it was get that logo in front, stay in front, and just keep it there. So I was doing everything I could to be in front. And 2020 winter kind of comes around. It's dead. I don't shoot any properties for 4 months. So November through February, March picks up. April rolls up. And April, I do what I did in 3 months in 1 month. And I'm still working for Verizon. It stayed that way all year. I was booming. And then winter comes, picks up. I did a couple of shoots and it's been nonstop growth. And last year I decided to expand the business out of real estate because I hate winter because it is so slow in real estate and I hate seeing money move out faster than it's coming in. So I was I need to find something else I can do to have more of a recurring revenue. And that's just my sales mentality was kicking in from years in cell phone industry and being taught you need to find that reoccurring revenue and get those people on reoccurring revenue. So I thought, how can I do this? And I thought of multiple ideas and finally ran with just expanding the business and offering services to businesses. So that's where the things began there. And then the following, or 2 years ago that was, and then last year I jumped into a coaching program and my coach, she's out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And her business, I started, before I even met her, I started mimicking a lot of the stuff. I was seeing the business behind. I thought it was her husband. And her husband both run it together. I'm mimicking as much as I could. Finally decided to reach out. Ended up becoming a coach, working with her. So last year, I started retainers. So I come into a business or with a realtor and it's, hey, let's come in. We'll come in once a month and we'll shoot anywhere from 8 to 16 videos, depending on the plan you're on. So we're just every single month. I got a full month's worth of content shot in 1 day for you. So that was my reoccurring revenue. So now that's the focus rolling into this year. So I can supplement that slow time of real estate in the winter months.
Corey, you're talking about one of your goals was keeping just your name and logo in front of those realtors and agents. Tell us about your logo. You got the flame, you got different colors. What's the branding? What's the marketing? What's the message?
Yeah. So kind of back up a little bit. When it comes to my business was Missoula Real Estate Photography.
Okay.
I call that poor man's SEO. So I named my business what the search terms were.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I ran with it and I dominated the pages for those search terms because it was all over my website. It's my business name. I'm not SEO cramming or any of that kind of stuff. I am, but I'm not. So it worked out really well. And when I decided,
real quick, Corey, for maybe some people out there don't know what SEO is, can you explain that just very briefly?
Yeah, search engine optimization. So the search engines are searching your website. They call them spiders, kind of coming over, looking over the website for keywords that match what somebody's typing in and then shows them that content because it should be what they're looking for. So poor man's SEO, I just take what any realtor would type in. Missoula, location, real estate photographer, real estate photography, and just ran with it. And it worked. So stayed in front. It was something easy for a lot of people to remember. But then last year, when I started the year and really starting to push into businesses, I was like, I need to rebrand. I need to do something different. Like, I don't want a business coming to my website and being like, oh, that's just real estate, and then turn around and leave. So most people niche in, I niched out. I backed off. And it was super scary for me because I had worked 3-4 years doing everything I could to stuff that business name and logo into people's faces to be memorized, to be remembered. And so I didn't want to rebrand, but I knew I had to. Finally, the middle of the year, I decided to rebrand, and I came up with Kiln Media. Hired somebody to do the brand, the colors, the logo, all that kind of stuff, because I was too busy to try to do it myself. Everything else before was done by moi.
So I feel like we did pretty good with SEO with the Missoula podcast.
Yeah, you're running the poor man's SEO.
Hey, look at that.
So when we need to rebrand and niche out, we'll come and get your advice on that.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
have a lot of consulting jobs for you coming up. Okay.
Name of our podcast and our lights. Those are the two big takeaways.
Yeah. So what was the significant impact when you did rebrand, when you did start going into doing these retainers with businesses? What was the impact of that? What were some of the challenges?
You know, I look back and I don't see much changed. And I think I'm able to run with the new name now. And the old name, that website still stands, still there. So if somebody finds that website, they're searching through it, and when they go to commit, then it points them into Kiln. The Facebook page still stands. Instagram, I just rebranded it. That was a nightmare because I was afraid somebody was going to swoop in and take the name. And with Instagram, I had to change my name, and then I went over to another page to put it on that page, but it wouldn't let me put it there. It was like, you're within 2 weeks or whatever it was. So I had to wait 2 weeks to move that name. Like, it was locked up. And so like I had it in my calendar, get it done. And I remember I missed the calendar, and I think it was like a day after, I just all of a sudden I was like, oh crap. Like, I need to get that now. Like, ran in, like, okay, still there, pulled it over. Now I have an Instagram page for that, and I can run. It just points people to Kiln. So keeps the traffic kind of coming full circle around to where it needs to be now.
Obviously, you've been able to build a relationship primarily on working with realtors, and I'm sure there's some unbelievable realtors out there that you work with. What is your favorite part about the industry, and maybe what's some of the not so fun parts about working with realtors? Because I'm sure there's a lot of opinions flying around with the media that you do for those houses.
The not fun parts. I can't really think of any. Like, all the clients that I work with have been great. And I think that's primarily because how I've priced myself in the market, because that is a big piece to a business is pricing. How you price yourself, you're going to attract those type of clients. So do you want somebody who's nothing against Walmart, but you want that Walmart pricing. So somebody who's going to come in, you're cheap. Those are the people that are typically going to start coming at you like, hey, change this, do this, try to get you lower on your price.
Service intensive.
Yeah. And it's a mass production style, but it's a low pricing point. So there's no value in your business. Like, people, I could get this cheaper, or they don't respect what you do. So by being on the higher end of it, like, I put my business to where I check my competitors and I try to be the most expensive. Like, I try to be the top of it, but I do that because I feel like I can also charge that because of the quality of work that I produce. So it goes hand in hand. But by being at that point, my clients respect what I do. They don't complain. Like, I'll have people that it's branding. They want certain things done certain ways, and that's fine. Like, I totally understand that. But I don't have anybody trying to get me to go lower on price. I don't have any of those type of battles. So there's no negatives to, I mean, I can't remember what you were saying, but no negatives to the business there.
Corey, I have 2 last questions for you. Number 1, what is it about what you do that keeps you doing what you're doing? Like with that, what makes a win for you, and that feeling inside of, I love what I do?
Yeah. So the passion was photography. Like that's where it started. And I still love photography. And it grew into becoming what people call one-stop shop. And I tried to find ways, just doing what I love, to give people something that's of good quality. And it's transformed itself from there to, I love training people, teaching people, helping people succeed and become better. And that's where my business is at now. The structure is, you want to build your brand, you want to increase your business, you want to get more sales, you want to get more followers. What can we do together so I can help you get to where you want? What's your goals? Where do you want to go? So it's more of like a consultation, coaching almost situation. And that's what I try to do with each client that I have, is figure out where they want to be and then build the content around that to get them there and help them. The focus for the business at this point is helping businesses and realtors build relationships with their followers. By building a relationship, you have so many people out there that are just walking salespeople for you.
Corey, I'm going to put you on the spot here. My last question. In 30 seconds or less, what is one piece of advice you would give to a business owner?
Business owners and realtors. I know realtors hear me say it so much, and I praise those and I tell them great job and keep it up. Get yourself on camera. Like, you don't get on camera, you're missing a giant chunk of business. There's a difference between you running a business and just posting your services and such, and then you coming in and you're doing the same thing he's doing, but you're jumping on camera talking. People now build a relationship with you. I'm going to want to do business with you because I feel like I know who you are.
You'd be making a right decision doing business with me instead of Steven.
I'll
tell you that.
So it's just building relationships.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. And if you're not getting on camera to build relationships, like I said, you're missing out on a huge chunk of business.
This has been awesome because it's so fun to talk to you and so passionate about building your business. And I love how you've kind of merged art, creativity with the nuts and bolts of building business. So thank you for that.
Which is funny. You are in the construction industry.
Yeah. And
you're building businesses.
I love that too. Like, it's going to hit me in a very hard spot. Like when my dad passes away, like, to be working in construction, doing this, it's going to hold on a whole other spot. So it's going to be hard. But my dad won. I'm not doing construction. I'm on the flip side of it. I'm on basically the finish side. I'm not swinging the hammer. I get to go into some construction sites that are currently being built and document that process and now see it from another side and capture that content.
It's a good place to stop. Thank you for sharing your story, and Kiln Media. It's probably going to continue to explode. So
yeah, it's a wild ride.
Thanks, Corey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's up, Missoula? This is Nick Balla, producer of the Missoula Podcast. We truly appreciate you hanging out with us as we dive into the stories that make our city special. If you could do us a quick favor and follow the show wherever you are listening, whether that's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, maybe you're watching on YouTube, so hit that little subscribe button. It really helps us out. Head on over to www.themissoulapodcast.com for more information, and we'll see you next week.